The day Nolan Mercer spent his last savings on 6 rusted tractors, the entire town thought he had finally lost his mind. Under the bright afternoon sun, the ancient machines sat in a dusty auction yard like forgotten relics from another century. Their paint had peeled away, their tires were cracked, and weeds had grown through some of their frames. People stood around laughing as Nolan signed the paperwork with trembling hands. What nobody knew was that those broken tractors would become the foundation of one of the most incredible success stories the county had ever witnessed. Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and never giving up on your dreams, please like this video, comment below, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Beyond Single Dad for more inspiring stories that touch the heart. Just 3 years earlier, Nolan's life had looked completely different. After losing his wife, Clara, to a sudden illness, he found himself raising his 8-year-old son, Rowan, alone. Every morning began before sunrise. He worked long hours at a local grain facility and spent his evenings helping Rowan with homework, cooking simple meals, and trying to hide his worries behind a tired smile. The medical bills had drained their savings, and the small house they lived in felt emptier with every passing day. Yet even during the hardest nights, Nolan carried a dream inside him. He dreamed of owning farmland. As a child, he had grown up helping his grandfather work the soil. He remembered endless summer afternoons under blue skies, the smell of fresh earth after rain, and the pride of harvesting crops that fed entire communities. Farming wasn't just a business to him. It was hope. It was family. It was a future he wanted to build for Rowan. The opportunity came unexpectedly when a large piece of neglected farmland on the edge of town became available. Most people avoided it because the soil had been poorly managed for years. The equipment needed to restore it would cost a fortune. Banks rejected Nolan's loan applications. Friends told him to be realistic. Some even suggested he focus only on keeping his current job. But Nolan refused to let go of his vision. With nearly all the money he had left, he purchased the abandoned land. Then came the auction where he bought the 6 rusted tractors that everyone mocked. The laughter followed him as he drove the machines home one by one. Some people shook their heads. Others took photos and shared jokes online. To them, Nolan looked like a desperate man throwing away his future. What they couldn't see were the long nights that followed. After finishing his shifts at work, Nolan spent hours repairing each tractor. Rowan often sat nearby holding a flashlight while his father worked. Their hands became stained with grease. Their clothes smelled of oil and metal. Some nights they worked until midnight. There were moments when engines refused to start and parts seemed impossible to find. More than once, Nolan sat alone in the darkness wondering if everyone else had been right. But every morning, he got up and tried again. Slowly, the tractors came back to life. One engine roared to life after months of repairs. Then another. Then another. Each success felt like a small miracle. Rowan cheered every time one of the old machines started moving across the field. For the first time in years, hope began replacing grief. As the tractors became operational, Nolan focused on the land itself. He studied soil regeneration techniques, planted cover crops, improved irrigation systems, and carefully restored the health of the fields. While neighboring farms followed traditional methods, Nolan experimented with innovative approaches that increased efficiency while protecting the environment. The first harvest was modest. The second harvest was better. By the third year, something remarkable was happening. Major food companies began noticing the quality and consistency of Nolan's crops. Investors who had once ignored him suddenly wanted meetings. Agricultural experts visited the farm to study his methods. The same fields people had called worthless were producing record yields. Word spread quickly. The single father who had been laughed at for buying 6 rusted tractors was becoming one of the most successful farmers in the region. Then came the moment that stunned everyone. A large agricultural corporation offered a partnership deal that valued Nolan's farming operation at over $100 million. News crews arrived. Business magazines published articles about his journey. People who once mocked him now called him a visionary. Yet the most emotional moment happened far away from the cameras. One evening, after signing the historic agreement, Nolan walked through the fields with Rowan as the golden sunlight stretched across the horizon. The tractors that had started it all stood nearby, restored and proudly maintained. Rowan looked at the machines and remembered the countless nights spent holding flashlights while his father worked. Nolan wasn't thinking about money. He wasn't thinking about headlines. He was thinking about every struggle, every rejection, every lonely night after Clara's passing. He realized that success hadn't come from luck. It had come from refusing to quit when quitting would have been easier. The farm grew larger, but Nolan never forgot where he started. He created scholarship programs for local students, helped struggling farmers modernize their operations, and donated resources to families facing hardships. He understood what it felt like to stand alone when the world doubted you. Years later, visitors continued asking about the 6 rusted tractors displayed near the entrance of the farm. Some expected stories about business strategy or investment secrets. Instead, Nolan always spoke about perseverance, faith, and the importance of believing in possibilities that others cannot yet see. If this story is touching your heart so far, please take a moment to like the video, leave a comment, and share it with someone who may need encouragement today. Special request, comment below with the words, "Never give up," if you believe determination can change a person's destiny. As the sun set over the now famous farm, those old tractors stood as silent reminders that greatness often begins where others see only failure. The laughter that once followed Nolan Mercer had long faded away. In its place stood respect, admiration, and a legacy built not just on wealth, but on courage. His story proved that sometimes the most valuable opportunities arrive disguised as rust, hardship, and impossible odds. And when a person chooses hope over fear, even the most broken beginnings can grow into something extraordinary.